Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Kelly Marie. I am a certified faith-based emotional intelligence coach, and we are back today with another video that is going to help you really hone in on the power of your emotions so that you can design and live a life that you love. So today we're talking about 5 signs of toxic shame. Now let's kick it off with this definition because we know what normal shame is, right? We know what normal anxiety and normal worry is. So toxic shame is a feeling that you are worthless. So if you have a low sense of self-worth, you're in the right place today. It happens when other people treat you poorly and you turn that treatment into a belief about yourself. You're most vulnerable to this type of poor treatment normally during childhood or as a teen, but honestly, y'all, it can arise also in adulthood, especially with romantic relationships. If you've been in like a narcissistic relationship or any type of abusive relationship, it can also come in with friendships. If you've ever had friendships where your friends were like overly critical, it can come in that sense as well. So it does come in adulthood in other forms, even if you had a pretty traumaless, I don't even know if that's a word, a pretty traumaless childhood. Okay. So toxic shame is like, it's deeper than just feeling like, I don't like myself or I don't like my outfit today. It goes deep down into like, if you have a hard time like setting boundaries, or if you take on other people's responsibilities, and you feel guilty, if you don't like to be seen, or you have a shame when you don't hit a certain level of success, that's when you start getting into, okay, this is toxic shame, because it's not just feelings, it's now feelings that are influencing the way that I'm living my life and my decision making. So sign number 1 is self-criticism. So if you're constantly putting yourself down, believing that you are inherently flawed or unworthy. So you guys who struggle with that like negative self-talk, that is the first sign that you are dealing with toxic shame, because negative self-talk is something that goes in cycles. It perpetuates. It goes on and on and on and on. And a lot of times when you start talking to yourself negatively, it's almost like you go down a rabbit hole. Sign number 2 is perfectionism. Which is actually setting unrealistically high standards for yourself and feeling like a failure if you do not meet them. So I know a lot of people position perfectionism as, it's great, you have high standards, but perfectionism can be very damaging to your self-esteem. And let's be clear, there's a difference in between setting a high standard and perfectionism, okay? Perfectionism is like unrealistic. And what happens is when there is a gap between where you are now and an unrealistic expectation, it's not just a feeling of failure and low self-worth. You also start to feel a lot of like anxiety and worrying about the future. Like, will I ever get there? Is it going to happen for me? Am I worthy? And so that's kind of where we start to enter this area of toxic shame. Number 3, difficulty accepting compliments. Now, this is one that I had to learn myself. That's why I was like, like difficulty accepting compliments. So if you feel uncomfortable or unworthy when someone compliments you, or when people compliment you and you just like don't know how to take it, or sometimes I'll compliment someone, like I'll compliment another woman because I love doing that. And they'll be like, oh, no, 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 no. This is just something that like, don't downplay the compliment, girl. Like you did that. Okay. You did that. That is actually a sign that there is something deeper going on. Sign number 4 is fear of vulnerability, avoiding opening up to others or expressing your true feelings due to a fear of judgment or rejection. Now, pay attention, not just vulnerable, open up my feelings, but vulnerability that you're holding back due to the fear of rejection. Okay. You're not saying what you want to say and being open because you think that that person is going to abandon you. You think that person is going to reject your emotions. And a lot of times this is what happens when you have been vulnerable in the past and things have gone in a negative direction. So you've been vulnerable in the past and you've been rejected. You've been vulnerable in the past and you have been abandoned as a direct result of that vulnerability. And so it starts to become toxic shame when what happened in the past is now stopping you from moving forward. Okay. And then last but not least, the last sign is chronic guilt. So feeling guilty for things that are not your fault, holding on to past mistakes, and unable to forgive yourself. When I tell y'all that forgiveness is freeing, forgiveness is freeing, okay? You have to learn how to forgive yourself, okay? It is so, so important. Not just other people, most importantly, forgiving yourself, okay? Because when things have happened in the past and you're holding on to them, you may not even realize you're holding on to them and carrying that with you. It is literally baggage. We call it emotional baggage, but it's literally baggage. It gets heavy and you may not have felt it in the past, but when you start trying to move forward, when you hire a life coach or you hire a mindset coach, or like me, you hire an emotional intelligence coach because you're like, something's just not right here. Like I'm trying, but I'm losing motivation, or I keep feeling like I'm hitting a brick wall. You're probably carrying some baggage. Oh man, I feel like it's taking me longer to get to the goal that I set when I see somebody else who got there quicker, or I feel like I should be getting there quicker. You're carrying something. So most of the time, going through a process of processing your emotions and forgiving yourself, or looking for situations intentionally that you have not forgiven and to go and forgive that person, is really going to help you. So that's all I have for you today. Hopefully these signs of toxic shame help you, and I'll do another video on how to move forward if you've noticed that you have some of these signs. All right, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See y'all later.